Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to look inside yourself right now. Really look. What's standing between you and your dreams? What's holding you back from that victory you've been chasing? More often than not, it's not the world out there. It's the war inside your own head. You see, life is going to throw everything at you. It is designed to test your limits, to push you until you feel like you're about to break. It will serve you fear, doubt, anger, heartbreak. These emotions, they're loud, they're demanding, and they want to control you. They will whisper lies in the dead of night and scream accusations in the broad daylight. But here's the truth you need to own right now, in this moment. You can only win when your mind is stronger than your emotion. When your mind is clear, focused, and unshakable. That's when you take control. That's when you make the impossible possible. Today, I want to walk you through 5 key truths that will help you master your mind over your emotions. Because mastering this is how you win. Not just the game, not just the promotion, but the entire war for your own soul. Emotions. They are the currency of our lives. They are the colors on the canvas of our experience. They shape the way we move through this world, how we interact with others, how we see ourselves in the mirror. Yet so often we treat them like enemies, or worse, like masters. We let them dictate our actions, our decisions, our very destiny. You see, emotions don't just come and go, they come with power. And that power is not just something to fear or run from. It's something to know, to understand, to harness. Because if you don't know your emotions, if you don't understand what they're truly telling you, you become a prisoner to them. And make no mistake, they will hold you hostage if you let them. They will build a cage around your heart with bars of fear and doubt, and you will forget you ever had wings. Take a moment and think about the last time you felt angry. Maybe someone cut you off in traffic. Maybe you got a harsh word from a friend or a colleague. Maybe you looked at the state of the world and felt a righteous fire burn in your chest. That fire inside. Anger can be a raging beast or a controlled flame. If you let anger control you, it can burn bridges, destroy relationships, even shatter your own peace. It becomes a wildfire that consumes everything in its path, leaving nothing but ash and regret. But if you understand anger, if you recognize it as a message, a signal that something inside you, a boundary, a value, a deep-seated belief, is demanding attention, then you can channel it. You can turn that fire into fuel, into motivation, into action that moves mountains instead of tearing down what you've built. Now, think about fear. That old sneaky voice whispering in your ear, telling you to stop, to stay put, to not try, not risk, not hope too much. Fear has saved lives. It's wired into our very DNA for survival. It's the alarm system that kept our ancestors from being eaten by predators. But fear, when it becomes a jailer, locks you in a cell of your own making. You freeze. You don't move. You let opportunities pass you by because the unknown looks scarier than the safety of standing still. But here's the thing about fear. It can be a guide if you learn to understand it. If you face it head on, you begin to see it for what it is. A signal that you're about to step into something new, something big, something that will change your life. Fear is not the enemy. The enemy is the surrender to fear. It's that moment you decide you won't move because the fear feels bigger than your will to grow. Picture a soldier on the battlefield. This soldier's life depends on one thing: how he deals with the flood of emotions crashing through him every second. Fear threatens to freeze him, to paralyze him into inaction. But if he listens closely, if he understands that fear is a warning system and a sharpening tool, he turns that fear into focus. His senses become razor sharp, his mind crystal clear, his body ready to act with precision and strength. This soldier is not ruled by emotion, he's led by it. And you are no different. Your life is your battlefield. Every day, emotions come knocking at your door. They bring messages. Some are loud: anger, grief, frustration. Some are quiet: doubt, uncertainty, sadness. Your job is to listen, to decode, and then to decide what to do next. The first step in mastering your emotions is this: recognize them for what they are. Not commands, but signals. Not dictators, but messengers. When you see your emotions this way, you step out of their prison and into your own power. Let me tell you about a champion, someone you might think has it easy because they're gifted or talented. But the truth is, what sets them apart is not just skill, it's the ability to face the roaring crowd, the blinding spotlight, the pressure that could crush anyone else, and still find peace within the storm. When the world is screaming at them to fail, when fear and anxiety try to choke the air from their lungs, they step back. They breathe. They focus on the game plan. They honor the fear, but don't let it rule them. This is the mindset that wins, not just in sports, but in life. When you can stand in the middle of chaos, feel your heart pounding, your hands shaking, and still say, "I got this." You're unstoppable because your mind has learned the secret. Acknowledging emotions is strength, not weakness. If you don't run from the fear, the anger, the pain, you embrace it, understand it, and then use it to fuel your fire. And here's the real power. When you master your emotions, you not only change your life, you change the lives of everyone around you. You become a force of calm in a storm, a beacon of hope in the darkest night. You show others what it means to be human and powerful at the same time. That's leadership, that's courage. Now, this journey is not easy. It takes guts to look inside, to meet your emotions eye to eye and say, "I'm not afraid of you. I'm not controlled by you." It takes discipline to pause when anger wants to shout, to breathe when fear wants to freeze you. But the reward, freedom to be your true self, freedom to move forward even when the path is unclear, freedom to live boldly, fully, and with purpose. So I challenge you right now, don't run from your emotions. Don't bury them. Don't pretend they don't exist. Get to know them. Talk to them. Learn what they want to tell you. Because once you do, you'll see they're not your enemies. They're your greatest allies. And when you harness that power, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Remember this, the mind wins not by denying the heart, but by listening to it wisely. The heart speaks through emotions. When you understand those messages, when you stand tall in their presence, you become a warrior of your own destiny. And that is a victory worth fighting for. Every single day. Let me tell you something that too many people forget, or maybe never really understand in the first place. Between the storm that rages in your heart and the action you take because of it, there's a space. It's not big, it doesn't shout, but it is everything. It is where your power lives. That space right there, that quiet pause before you react, that's your kingdom. That's your battlefield. That's your freedom. And the choices you make in that space, they will shape the life you live, the legacy you leave, and the person you become. Now, life doesn't play fair. It doesn't wait until you're ready. It doesn't care about your plans. It will knock you flat on your back, strip you of everything you thought you knew, and ask you, now what? You don't get to control the wave that hits you. You don't get to dictate who walks away or who betrays you, but you get to choose your response. And in that decision, however small, however quiet, that's where strength lives. You see, everybody loves to talk about success, about glory, about victory, but they don't talk enough about that moment before. The moment where your chest is tight, your palms are sweating, and everything in you is screaming, "Give up." That's the moment when your response is everything. That's when discipline becomes the difference between rising and folding, because the easy response is anger. The easy response is blame. The easy response is to let the world turn you cold. But strength, the kind that lasts, comes from restraint, from discipline, from choosing not to become what hurt you. Let's get real. You will be disappointed. People you love will hurt you. Plans will fall apart. Doors you were sure would open will slam shut in your face. And sometimes you'll feel forgotten, you'll feel small, and you'll wonder, why me? But right there, in that low moment, you get to choose. Do you let the bitterness grow? Do you let the pain define you? Or do you make a choice to keep your heart soft, your head high, and your purpose clear? There's a man who sat in a cell for 27 years. Think about that. Every single day behind bars. Not for something shameful, not for something wrong, but for standing for something right. And every morning he woke up surrounded by people who wanted to break him. Every night he went to bed with nothing but his own thoughts. The pain he carried was real. The injustice was heavy. But when the world opened the door to that prison and the eyes of a nation turned to him, he didn't respond with vengeance. He didn't speak of payback. He chose forgiveness. He chose grace. He chose peace. Not because he had to, but because he had the discipline to do so. That choice right there, that choice changed the course of history. Now you might say, well, I'm not a revolutionary. That's not the point. You don't need to lead a nation to change the world. You just need to lead yourself. Every single day, you're faced with moments where you decide, how do I respond? That boss who underestimates you, that friend who betrays you, that fear that creeps in when no one's watching. Those are the tests, not the big stages, not the awards, but the quiet moments when nobody's looking and your soul whispers, do better. You have that power. And I'm not talking about willpower, like some New Year's resolution you forget by February. I'm talking about a fire in your bones, a decision to show up with integrity even when it's hard, a choice to be kind when it's not returned, a decision to get back up when everything in you is tired. That's the kind of discipline that transforms a person. That's the kind of discipline that rewrites futures. Let me ask you this. What are you choosing every day? Because make no mistake, you're choosing something. Every reaction, every word, every step is a choice. Are you choosing fear or courage? Are you choosing ego or humility? Are you choosing to lash out or to lead? Your life is not built in the moments when everything is going right. It's built in how you respond when everything is going wrong. We live in a world that tells you, go with your gut, say what you feel, act on your emotions. And yes, emotions are real. They are powerful, but they are not meant to lead you. They are meant to guide you. Like waves, they rise and fall. But you are the captain of your ship. You choose whether to crash or to sail through. And sometimes that means taking a breath. Sometimes it means walking away. Sometimes it means staying when it hurts or letting go when it's hard. That's discipline. That's strength. We need more people in this world who don't just react, but respond. Who don't just mirror the chaos around them, but rise above it. Who understand that their power doesn't come from shouting the loudest or hitting the hardest, but from knowing who they are and standing firm in that. That kind of strength doesn't show up overnight. It's built choice by choice, day by day, in the small, unseen moments. You want to change your life? Change your responses? You want to build character? Watch how you treat people who can't do anything for you. You want peace? Learn to pause, learn to breathe, learn to hold yourself steady when everything else is spinning. That's where the real power is. There will always be noise. There will always be people trying to provoke you, test you, drag you down to their level. But hear me, don't you go down. Don't you give them that power. You were built for more. You were made to rise. And sometimes the greatest strength is restraint. The loudest roar is silence. The bravest move is the stillness before the storm. Some of you are walking through fire right now, and I see you. You're tired. You're questioning. You're angry. But hear this. You still get to choose. You still get to define this chapter. You still get to say, this is not how my story ends. And that choice, that's yours. Nobody can take that from you. So when that moment comes, and it will, when your chest is tight and your world is shaking and your instincts are screaming for revenge or retreat, remember this, you have the power to choose. And in that choice is your freedom. In that choice is your future. Let it be a choice that makes you proud. Let it be a choice that lifts someone else up. Let it be a choice that says, I am not my pain. I am not my fear. I am more than this moment. You decide, not your past, not your circumstances, not the people who said you couldn't, you. That's where the discipline of choice begins. And when you master that, when you own that, you become unstoppable. All right, let's talk about the mind. This incredible force we all carry within us is not magic, is not some gift a few people were born with. Number. It's something you build brick by brick, day by day. You don't wake up one morning with an unshakable mind. You earn it. You forge it. Like steel, it's made in fire. And if you treat your mind like a muscle, it will grow strong. Strong enough to carry you through storms you never thought you'd survive. See, we get this idea that mental toughness is just there, that some folks are just wired different. But the truth, that strength, that calm in the chaos, it is not something you're born with. It's trained, just like the body. You don't get muscle sitting on the couch watching others chase their dreams. You get them from pain, from repetition, from showing up when it's hard. And the mind is no different. You want a strong mind? Then you've got to be willing to do the work. Nobody sees the work. That doesn't make headlines. The quiet grind that happens when it's just you, your thoughts, and a decision to get better. Meditation. Yeah, it's not just sitting in silence. It's discipline. It's learning how to be still in a world that's constantly shouting. It's watching your thoughts pass by like clouds and choosing not to chase them. That kind of control, that takes practice. Journaling. Some people laugh at it, call it soft, but when you put pen to paper, when you face your own thoughts with honesty, you're doing surgery on your soul. You're figuring out what's really going on beneath the noise. And in those pages, you start to take back control. You build awareness. Awareness becomes clarity. Clarity becomes strength. Then there's goal setting, real goals, not just dreams, but targets, specific intentional steps. You don't become mentally strong wandering around without direction. You've got to aim. You've got to lock your eyes on something bigger than where you are now. And breaking down problems, that's the secret right there. Life will throw mountains at you, but a strong mind doesn't see the mountain. It sees the next step, one step, then another. That's how you climb. That's how you overcome. Now think about the military, the elite units, Navy SEALs, special forces. They don't just train their bodies to push past limits. They train their minds to stay sharp when the world goes dark. When fear comes knocking, when everything in your gut says panic, they respond with calm. Why? Because they've rehearsed it over and over and over again, under pressure, in chaos, until that calm becomes a reflex, until their mind doesn't get hijacked by fear or doubt. That's what we all need, that kind of readiness, that kind of peace under pressure, because life will come at you hard. Death, failure, rejection, disappointment. It's not a matter of if, it's when. And when it does, you won't have time to build strength in the moment. You'll only have what you've trained for. And if you've trained your mind, truly trained it, then when the storm hits, you won't break. You'll bend, you'll adjust, you'll stand. But let's not kid ourselves. This isn't easy work. This is the work that most people avoid. It's not glamorous. It doesn't happen on Instagram. It happens in the dark, early mornings, late nights, when no one's watching, when quitting would be easier. That's when you dig in. That's when you get stronger. Every time you choose focus over distraction, every time you face a fear instead of running, every time you say, this hurts, but I'm not done, that's when the mind gets forged. You don't need to be fearless. That's a myth. You just need to stop letting fear run the show. A strong mind doesn't mean you never feel afraid. It means you feel it, and you act anyway. You move forward with the fear. You carry it, but it doesn't carry you. The beauty of this, it's for everyone. Doesn't matter where you started. Doesn't matter what cards you were dealt. This is a path you can walk starting today, right now. But it's a choice. Every day you choose whether to grow or to stay comfortable, whether to stretch or to shrink. And the truth is, no one can make that choice for you. No one can train your mind but you. So the question is, how bad do you want it? Not just the success, not just the accolades, but the resilience, the peace, the kind of mind that doesn't fold under pressure, that doesn't shatter when things don't go to plan. That kind of mind takes work, and it starts with the little things. 10 minutes of silence in the morning, writing your fears down so they stop haunting you, turning off the noise and tuning into your purpose over and over again. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes, until one day you're the calm in the storm. You're the one others look to when things fall apart. Not because you're perfect, not because you don't feel pain, but because you've trained for this. You've prepared your mind like a warrior prepares for battle. And let me tell you something, it's worth it. Every hard moment, every uncomfortable stretch, every time you pushed past the voice in your head telling you to quit, that's what makes the difference. That's the edge. When everyone else is breaking, you hold the line because you did the work. And now your mind, it's a fortress. So train it, honor it. Don't waste another day numbing it, avoiding it, or underestimating it. Your mind is your greatest weapon. Sharpen it, strengthen it. And when the world tries to shake you, you'll be unshakable. Let me tell you something about failure. It's not the end. It feels like it is. It hits you in the chest, tightens your throat, pulls your heart down like a weight, but it's not the end. It's a moment, a sharp one, maybe a loud one, but it passes. And what happens next? That's up to you. You see, failure isn't what breaks us. It's how we respond to it that defines the next chapter. Emotion won't break you, not if your mind knows how to hold the line. We've been trained to fear failure from the time we're kids. We're taught to avoid it like it's a disease. Don't mess up, don't fall, don't lose. But the truth is, failure is a teacher, a brutal one, yes, but it teaches what success never could. It reveals your cracks. It shows you where you're still growing. And if you're brave enough to face it, to really sit with it, it will strengthen your spirit in ways comfort never will. Now, when failure strikes, and it will, it brings a wave of emotion. You'll feel it. The sting, the shame, the fear, the doubt, that voice in your head that says you're not good enough, that whisper that turns into a scream, you're done. And in that moment, you have a choice. You can listen, you can let it drown you, or you can answer back with something stronger, something deeper. That's when the mind steps in, not to silence the emotion, but to rise above it, to say, not yet, I'm not done. Look at history. Look at the people we admire, the inventors, the dreamers, the fighters. You think they walked an easy path? You think they hit every mark the first time? No, they failed publicly, painfully, repeatedly. But their mind kept showing up, kept saying, one more time, one more shot. Thomas Edison. He didn't invent the light bulb on his first try, or his 10th, or his 100th. It took over 1,000 failures. 1,000 moments where he could have said, this isn't for me. But he didn't, because the emotion of failure didn't own him. His mind did. You have to train your mind the same way. You have to build that resilience like a muscle. And that starts with how you talk to yourself when things go wrong. You can't be your own enemy. You can't beat yourself up worse than the world already does. You've got to be your own anchor. When everything around you says fail, you say stand. You remind yourself that failure is not fatal. It's a step, a scar, a chapter, not the whole book. It takes strength to feel disappointment and still believe. It takes strength to look at the mess you made and say, I still have something left. That kind of strength doesn't come from ego. It comes from truth. The truth that you are bigger than this failure. That this moment, as heavy as it feels, is not your final sentence. And look, I get it. Sometimes failure isn't just falling short. It's falling hard. You lose the job. The relationship ends. The dream slips through your fingers after you gave it everything. It's not just a bruise, it's a break. And in those moments, it's easy to believe the lie that you're not enough. But that's the very moment when you need your mind the most. Not to numb the pain, but to face it, to heal through it. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending it didn't hurt. Healing means letting the mind guide you through the pain, not around it. And when you heal, something powerful happens. You start to see failure not as a wall, but as a mirror. It shows you who you really are when things fall apart. Not the mask, not the image, but the core. So embrace the failure. Don't run from it. Let it humble you. Let it shape you. Let it teach you what success never could. Because success is loud, but failure is quiet. It sneaks in and asks the deeper questions. What are you made of? How bad do you want this? Can you still move when the spotlight's gone? That's why I say feel the emotion. Don't hide from it. Cry if you have to. Scream if you need to. That doesn't make you weak. That makes you human. But once the tears dry, once the storm settles, you stand. You breathe. You remember why you started. And you begin again. And maybe you fail again. Maybe 10 more times. But every time you get back up, you build something inside of you that can't be shaken. That's how the great ones are made. Not in moments of applause, but in the silence after the fall, in the quiet decision to keep going. So let failure in. Welcome it like a guest. And when it speaks, don't let it define you. Let it refine you. Let it sharpen your purpose. Let it clear the clutter. Let it burn away the excuses until only the truth remains. And that truth, that you're not done yet, that you've got more inside of you than even you know. You don't need to be fearless, but you need to believe that the fire inside of you burns hotter than the fire around you. That belief, that mindset will carry you through. Because when your emotions tell you it's over, your mind, your trained, unbreakable mind, will whisper something stronger, something eternal. Not yet. Vision is everything. It's the North Star when everything around you goes dark. It's the quiet voice when the world gets loud. Vision is the reason you keep showing up when the pain is real, when the road is long, when the tears won't stop falling. You see, pain is loud. Emotion is loud. Frustration, sadness, anger, when they scream, they shout, they demand your attention. But vision is steady. Vision whispers. It doesn't beg, it leads. And when you anchor your mind to that vision, there is nothing that can pull you under. Nothing. Life is going to test you. It will come at you with storms you didn't ask for, trials you didn't see coming, weight you never thought you could carry. You will get tired, you will get hurt, you will feel like giving up more times than you care to admit. But if you know why you're fighting, truly know, then you can survive anything, because the pain is temporary, but the purpose is permanent. There are going to be moments when your heart is breaking and your body is screaming for rest. Moments where people doubt you, where you doubt yourself. And in those moments, if you let emotion lead, it will drag you into the darkness. But your mind, your trained, focused, locked-in mind, can pull you through. Not because it's numb to the pain, but because it remembers the vision. It remembers the future you're fighting for. That's the difference between people who quit and people who rise. One listens to the pain, the other listens to the purpose. Think about that mother. 3 jobs, no sleep, barely enough money for the bills, let alone the extras. Waking up before the sun, coming home long after it sets. She doesn't do that for fun. She doesn't grind because it's easy. She grinds because she sees something that hasn't happened yet. A better life for her children, a future filled with options, with dignity, with freedom. And that vision, it's not a dream, it's a decision. She's made up her mind. So even when the weight feels unbearable, even when she cries behind closed doors, her feet keep moving, her hands keep working, her heart keeps beating, not just for herself, but for what's coming. That kind of power doesn't come from emotion. Emotion says stop. Emotion says, why bother? Emotion tells you it's too hard. But vision says, keep going. Vision says, this matters. Vision says, your pain has a purpose. You can't let the moment blind you to the mission. Don't trade what you want most for what you feel right now. You've got to train your mind to see beyond the struggle, to look through it. That takes discipline. That takes clarity. You don't just wake up with vision, it's something you cultivate, it's something you build. And the clearer it is, the stronger your anchor becomes. Because life will try to unmoor you. It'll try to shake you loose with heartbreak, with betrayal, with failure. But when you're anchored, you don't drift. You hold fast. You weather the storm. It's not about pretending the pain isn't real. It's real. It hurts. Sometimes it will knock the wind out of you, but you don't set up camp in the pain. You don't unpack there. You feel it, you honor it, but then you move. You move toward the vision. You use the pain. You let it sharpen your focus, not cloud it. Let it remind you how much this matters. Let it push you deeper into your purpose. Too many people quit because they mistake emotion for direction. Just because it hurts doesn't mean you're lost. Just because it's heavy doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. But your mind is where the power lives. And when you fill it with vision, real, vivid, soul-deep vision, you build a compass that no storm can break. That's why you've got to protect that vision. Guard it, feed it, speak life into it every single day. Write it down, say it out loud. Picture it when you wake up. Carry it with you when the world tries to distract you. Because distraction is the enemy of vision, and comfort is the enemy of progress. Your emotions will always offer you a way out. Just rest, just quit, just stop for a while. But your vision, it calls you forward. It tells you to rise again and again. And when the people around you don't see it, when they don't understand why you're working so hard, sacrificing so much, you don't shrink. You don't apologize, because they weren't given your vision. They weren't given your assignment. That's between you and God. That's between you and the life you know you were meant to live. You will face moments of doubt. That's natural. But don't let temporary emotion destroy a destiny that was built in vision. You've come too far. You've endured too much, and what's ahead is greater than what's behind. But you have to stay locked in. You have to keep your eyes on the prize. Not the pain, not the tears, not the setbacks, on the prize. And the prize isn't just money. It's not just success. It's freedom. It's legacy. It's knowing you gave everything you had for something that mattered. It's showing the people who come after you that it's possible, that no matter where you start, if your vision is strong enough and your mind is anchored deep enough, you can build something beautiful, something lasting. So hold the vision close. Let it be the fire in your belly when the nights get long and the applause goes quiet. Let it be the fuel when your legs are tired and the hill gets steep. Let it remind you who you are and why you began. Because if your vision is true, if it burns in your bones, then no pain, no failure, no emotion will ever be enough to stop you. You just keep moving forward. One step, one breath, one battle at a time. And every time the pain gets loud, let your mind answer with truth. Let it say, I see what I'm building. I know what I'm chasing. I know where I'm going. And no matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it gets, that vision will carry you all the way to the other side. Let me leave you with something that matters, not just today, not just for this moment while the lights are on and the room is full, but for when you walk out of here and the world starts pressing on you again. Because it will. Life doesn't wait for applause. Life doesn't give you timeouts. It keeps moving, keeps testing. And the question is, are you ready? Emotions are real. No one's asking you to be made of stone. Fear is real. Anger is real. Doubt, that's real too. These things, they don't knock politely. They show up uninvited, unexpected. And they don't care how strong you looked yesterday. They don't care how confident you sounded when you stood in front of the mirror this morning. They just come. And when they do, they come loud and they come fast. But here's the truth. You are fiercer. You are more powerful when your mind is trained, when your discipline runs deeper than your emotions, when your purpose outshines your pain. That's when you become unstoppable. See, the storms of life, they're not personal, they're universal. Everybody faces them, but not everybody survives them the same way. Some people fall apart, some get stuck, some quit, but others, they rise. Not because they don't feel the storm, but because they built something inside that the storm can't touch. That something is the mind, a mind anchored in purpose, disciplined in thought, clear in vision. When you've trained your mind to stay focused while your heart is breaking, when you've taught it to stay calm, when your world is shaking, that's when you become a different kind of force. Not easily shaken, not easily broken. You gotta build that. You gotta shape that, day by day. That's not something you fake, that's something you forge. You sit in the quiet, you do the hard work, you ask yourself the hard questions. What do I believe in? What am I willing to fight for? What am I willing to suffer for? And when that answer is clear, your mind locks in. And once it locks in, emotion no longer leads. You do. You're gonna face things that try to pull you off course, setbacks that come out of nowhere, people who disappoint you, doors that close right when you thought they'd open. But hear me, none of that can stop you unless you let it in, unless you let it break your focus, unless you let it become bigger than the reason you started. Your feelings are not facts. Your emotions do not define your future. Your emotions are messengers. They come and go. They rise and fall. But the mind, that's the command center. That's the difference between those who make it and those who almost did. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's that ability to feel the weight and still move forward, to feel the fear and still make the call, to feel the doubt and still take the step. You are not weak for feeling. You are human. But when you let the feelings drive, when you let them take the wheel, that's when you drift. That's when the vision blurs. That's when the fight is lost before it even begins. Because no battle is won without the mind. Not one. So you've got to train. Not just once, not just when things get hard, every day, like a warrior, like your life depends on it. Because sometimes it does. You train through prayer, through meditation, through discipline, through the choices you make when nobody's watching. You train by saying no when comfort calls. You train by choosing focus over chaos. You train by deciding that excuses are done and your time is now. And when the storm comes, and it will, you'll be ready. Not because you're fearless, but because you've built something stronger than fear. Not because life stopped hurting, but because you've stopped letting it stop you. You will feel anger. You will feel doubt. But you will not be defined by those things. You will not be led by those things. You've come too far, fought too long. You owe it to yourself to win. You owe it to the ones watching you, hoping for your breakthrough. You owe it to the vision inside of you that refuses to die even when everything else tells you to quit. So here's the truth. The battle will always begin in the mind, and it's won there, or it's lost there. Before a single word is spoken, before a single step is taken. If your mind is trained, if it is ready, you win. You win because you refuse to fold. You win because you know who you are. You win because you've built something no fear can shake, no failure can destroy. So go. Go with fire in your chest. Go with clarity in your soul. Go with your mind as your weapon, your shield, your compass. Master your emotions. Hold the line and go win.